Good morning and welcome to my kitchen. I am here again in the kitchen with two corking recipes for you. I cannot wait to share them with you. Number one recipe, we're going to make Spinach Pie, which is a feta and spinach pie. Now I've had a little tinker with it, little play, got some new ingredients to add into it just to kind of add to the experience. So we've moved away from the authentic. It's absolutely delicious, super easy. And then I'm going to show you how to make a brownie, but I'm going to add a bit of cherry coke in there, and you will see this in a little while. First, Spinach Pie. Right, spinach, loads of it. Do not underestimate how much spinach you need for a spinach pie. Okay, so I've got my pan on the heat. I'm going to add a little bit of salt because that will help draw the moisture out. I'm going to add some pepper because that will work with the seasoning of the spinach. And then it's pretty simple to cook this. So this bag is what? How much is in this bag? We have got lots. I can't even see the weight of it anywhere. We've got a bag of spinach. Check the recipe. All right, in it goes. Now, if the spinach is not bulging over the top of your pan, you haven't got enough spinach. So tiny little sprinkle of salt on there, and the pan lid on, full heat, all right? We need to get rid of all the water that is in the spinach, and there is a lot in there, okay? So really heat it up. We're probably gonna maybe 2 to 3 minutes, full power, all right? We'll start stirring it around, and you will see all the water come out, and I'll show you how to deal with that when it's ready. But now for the filling, okay? So I've got a nice big shallow bowl just for the only reason that you can see it. We are going to start off with some halloumi cheese, which I've added, which isn't authentic, but I think it gives it a really nice tang. Okay, so I've got a block of halloumi, so we're just going to jump over to Cyprus and borrow a bit of their cheese because it is lovely halloumi. Everyone seems to love it these days. And just grate it. It gives you a bit of texture. And it means the fillings are just that little bit firmer, okay? So grate that up, spread it out. Then I have got some beautiful walnuts. Now these are California walnuts because I do a bit of work with those guys, and they are delicious. And they're going to give us some real nice crunch in there, okay? So just break them up a little bit, but not much because you want that crunch.
Is there anything if you didn't have walnuts or you didn't like walnuts?
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
You can add any walnuts that you like. Sorry, not any walnuts. You can add any nuts that you like. But the only reason why I'm adding them is for texture. If you don't like nuts, don't put them in. That's okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a little oregano in there. All right, just a little bit. Don't want it to overpower. Nigella seeds, or onion seeds, some people call them. They're a real savoury kind of flavour, and I think they work really well. Okay, and then I'm also going to add some sesame seeds as well. Sesame seeds, very Greek. They use them quite a lot. And then we've got our feta cheese, which we'll just put in there as is at the moment. Look how quickly that has wilted down, all right? It is really, really quick.
Nothing, doesn't it?
Honestly, do not underestimate how much spinach you need. You know, don't buy one of those tiny little bags in the supermarket because it just won't last. Right, let me just move that to one side. Now, I've got my jug here, and I'm just going to put the spinach in. What I want you to do is take your spinach, once it's cooled enough, and really squeeze it and push all the moisture out. All the water is your enemy in this, and you have to get rid of it. Otherwise, your pie will be so soggy. Okay, so really push or use the back of a spoon or a ladle. I mean, if I lift this up, Emily, can we go to the wide?
Yeah.
Look.
Wow.
Loads and loads of water coming out, and it's got to go. I cannot stress how important it is to take the time to really get rid of the water. I mean, if I now lift that up because it's cooled off a lot, I'm still going, look.
Wow.
It must be more than half water. It just keeps going, doesn't it? but it makes all the difference. I've had two types of spanakopita. One amazing, which is what we're going to make, and then one where somebody didn't do this, and it was just a soggy, soggy mess.
Just don't realise how much water.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Okay. So, I'm just going to let that go. Just that little bit more. There we go. Last squeeze. Oh, there we go. Now, frozen spinach is a really good thing to use for this if you haven't got fresh, because it defrosts really, really well, but you must make sure you get rid of all the water. Okay, that will do. So there you go. That's our spinach. So, pop that back there. Can we see that all right?
Yeah.
Are we all right, the powers that be with the cameras? Carlos is telling me to move it that way. There you go. Is that all right?
Yeah.
We happy?
Always.
Okay, right. So, we just crack our eggs in now, okay? These eggs are going to just kind of help bring it all together. You don't want too much egg in there. And if you don't get on with eggs, don't put them in. It will still work without the eggs, but I think it works really nicely. So, on to our nutmeg now. Now, nutmeg is a spice that really works with these sort of flavours, okay? And then but it's important that you buy fresh, whole nutmeg, and grate it yourself. Do not buy pre-ground nutmeg. It's just dust, okay? I mean, once you use fresh, I mean, smell that. Once you've zested that and grated it all up, it just smells so distinctive, isn't it?
It does smell like Christmas.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say it smells like Christmas. Let me just wipe this down, okay? So, we've got everything we want in there, okay? So, all I'm going to do is get my hands in, break this feta up, okay, so that it really evenly distributes. And we get this filling done, all right? So, just start to mix it all together. I'm a bloke, I like to get my hands in, I like to get messy, but if you don't, just use a spoon. That is not a problem at all, okay? So, there we go. I've not overmixed this because I don't want it to be one generic filling. I want to be able to see, you know, bits of spinach, bits of halloumi, bits of feta, walnuts. You know, it needs to be interesting. I've seen far too many of these pies where it's just a generic green mixture. Okay, so I'm just going to wash my hands. And now we are going to turn our attention to the pastry. Now, I've got Filo pastry. Okay, shop bought, one roll will do the job for this pie perfectly. Okay, so we'll just put that to one side. Now, I'm using Masterclass Crusty Bake. Now, I use these all the time, and in the UK, we are not far away from the next season of Bake Off, and baking is going to be something we talk about lots very soon. In September and October, the UK goes baking mad, and if you've got one of these, you'll be all right, but I would highly recommend them because there are no soggy bottoms when you have a crusty bake with all this perforated air holes in there. Okay, so let's unravel our pastry. Okay, Filo is super thin pastry, like so wafer thin. If I lift one of those up, Emily, can you see that?
Yeah.
I mean, look at it, it's paper. Right, now I've got some melted butter here, which I'm just going to warm up really gently so it's just really, really pliable. And the idea is that we are going to brush a little bit of butter to help this pastry crisp up. Now, if you don't use butter on it at all, you could use a touch of olive oil, that's absolutely fine. But the first one we do is just pop that straight in there. All right? So there is sheet one. Now, it will break a little bit, so you've got to be really, really careful. That's enough for me. So, little rough brush, not too much, don't worry about it. Just, there we go. And then I'm going to grab a couple of sesame seeds, put those on there, and then lift it up. Now, butter side down, we're going to lay that into the pie, all right? This is not a pie that's perfectly beautiful and trimmed and crimped, all right? We want all the overhanging bits, okay? And I'll show you why in a minute. So, same again. Just a little bit of butter. Don't waste your time brushing every square inch of this pastry. All right, just a little bit's fine. Okay, a few sesame seeds. Maybe a little bit of oregano, because this is all flavour. All right? We're just putting layers of flavour in this pie. Pop that in. I'm going to do that one slightly to one side like that. Can you see that, Emily?
Yeah.
Yeah, is that all right?
Yeah.
Have you had spanakopita?
I think I've had it once before. It was really, really, really nice, but I've never made it myself.
Have you not? Is this something you'd make? Because you do make quite a lot of these recipes, don't you?
This is something I would enjoy.
Because you are consciously eating less meat, aren't you?
Yes.
So you don't eat meat every day as much. You and your mum particularly, aren't you?
Yeah.
So now we've hung the pastry more this side to the left, my left. Okay? This one more to my right. So I've got loads of pastry to fold over at the end. All right? So
while you're on the thing of Filo, is there anything else? Can you use it for sweet recipes?
Oh, it makes
Filo is like something that I don't think a lot of people use.
Filo is great for strudels. Really, really nice. Good for making samosas. So if you have a bit left over, it's good for things like that. I mean, it's a good store cupboard kind of in the freezer item to have. Next time you're in the supermarket, just grab it, pop it in the freezer, and then when you feel like wanting to make this, bring it out, get it made. Right, a little bit more butter. Last couple of sheets now.
Would you ever make Filo yourself?
Oh, God, no.
Is it a bit like puff
Oh, no way. I did a cookery program called Britain's Best Bakery. In fact, Emily and I met on set at Britain's Best Bakery, and a friend of hers, I set them a challenge because I was the judge on the programme with Mitch Turner. And we set them a challenge, and it was mean, really mean, to make Filo pastry. So Sarah, if you're watching, I'm sorry. I don't make Filo. It's really hard to make. Like the Greek bakers that make it, they kind of swing it around and they use momentum to, it's amazing to watch. Search it on Google, on YouTube, sorry. But yeah, no, it's really difficult. So, last sheet I think will do. All right, one more sheet.
Because you see quite a lot of people like doing like they roll it, don't they? Like into a spiral, like do it into a spiral.
Yeah, so you can, what you have to do is stick all the sheets together and do like a sausage roll and then roll it up and then you swirl it round like a snail shell.
Yeah.
There's that as well. That is more North African.
Right.
There's a lot of sort of Moroccan style that do that. So, right, that is just enough. I'm going to keep that bit. You can easily freeze your pastry if you've bought it and you haven't used it all, which is really handy. So I'm going to pop that there, and hopefully I'll get the nod from Carlos that I put it in the right place. Okay, so, again, I want bags and bags of flavour on this. So I'm going to put some nigella seeds on the bottom, some sesame seeds, and just a little sprinkle of oregano. Tiny little bit.
It looks so light and airy.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
And then we're going to take our filling. I've got my mum and dad for dinner tonight, so this is their favourite dish. Greece is their favourite country to visit, and I know they haven't been there since lockdown, so they're desperate to have some authentic Greek, like real Greek food, so they will absolutely love this. So just push it into all the corners, okay? And I'll just rinse my hands off. Now, the great thing about this recipe is there's no, oh my goodness, I've got to make it look perfect, okay? So don't worry about that. Now, if you want the recipe for this, this dish or for the cherry cola brandy that we're going to be doing, please scan the code that will be shown along the bottom now. If you scan it with your phone, press pause, scan it, it'll take you straight to the website, which is masterclass.co. You will find all my recipes there from both past episodes and ones in the future that are going to be coming. I think we're on episode 41 now, so there are loads and loads of recipes for you to get stuck into. Now, take your pastry and just fold it over. Now, the beauty of this is if you just do it like this and you just let it kind of be, all right? Don't be tempted to flatten it because this is going to go super crispy, which is delicious. And then we just take the last of our butter and just dab it, all right? Is that the right word? Do we dab?
Yeah.
Is that a word?
Dab it, yeah.
You dab it? Yeah, I think it is. There we go. This will help it just go really lovely and golden and crisp rather than just brittle. If you don't brush it in anything, it can be quite brittle. Now, nigella seeds or onion seeds. I'm going to pop those on because they're just going to give that really lovely savoury hit. And then sesame seeds. These are toasted sesame seeds, so you get that really nice kind of nutty flavour. And then just a little sprinkle of oregano for that kind of Mediterranean aroma almost. There we go. Now, that is going to go in the oven at 170 degrees, okay? And because we've got the air holes in this tin, it's just going to be super crisp underneath. It will be delicious in the middle and crispy and crunchy on top. So that's going into the oven for about 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, so while the spanakopita's cooking, I am going to show you how to make the most amazing brownie with cherry cola. Okay, so spanakopita is cooked. Have a look at that. It smells amazing. The nigella seeds, when they go in the oven, just create this aroma. And it is absolutely delicious. It's mouth-watering. And as you can see on the top, it's all, because we've just sort of randomly plonked all the Filo on the top, it's like really crispy on the top. And then because of the perforation on the crusty bake, it is lovely and crisp on the bottom. But there you go. That is how to make an amazing spanakopita. That is my cherry cola brownies. I hope you have a great weekend. Please try these recipes. Scan the QR code on the bottom, take you straight to the website. You'll find them all there. We've done 40 odd episodes now, so there are loads and loads of great ideas and recipes for you to try in your kitchen. So thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next episode.